What's going on, y'all? I'm Iconic Ty. Don't ask me why. I'm coming at y'all with another video. But before we get into the video, man, make sure you hit that sub button, hit that like button, and comment down below what y'all been thinking, man. Yeah, see what's going on in the Giannis video I just dropped. We've been going crazy in the comment sections. We've been debating, going back and forth, and I'm here for it, man. That's what makes the sports world go around and around. But today, man, let's get into the Los Angeles Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers are coming off a very disappointing season. Granted, they were plagued by injury. Guys like LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Dennis Schroeder all went down with injuries, and these are the top three players in the Lakers uniform. So there's no wonder why they dropped to the 7th seed. As a result of that, they ended up going against the Phoenix Suns, who were red hot in the first round, and they ended up going home early. I mean, this was completely surprising, being that LeBron James doesn't go home in the first round, never. This was the first time he went home in the first round. That being said, there's a lot for the Lakers to figure out in this offseason. The number one priority is going to be LeBron James and Anthony Davis getting healthy. I mean, when they're healthy and on the court together, they are the best duo in the NBA. The last time they were healthy, they won a championship in the bubble. So that goes to show just how great these two are when they're completely 100%. There are reports that the Los Angeles Lakers are targeting Carmelo Anthony, and I think this will be a perfect match. I mean, I think that it's been years in the making, really. When you have a guy like Carmelo Anthony who can come off the bench and give you 15 to 20 points per game, especially when he's playing with LeBron James, a guy that he's comfortable with. And LeBron James, we just know LeBron James makes everybody around him better. If you give him an offensive weapon like Carmelo Anthony, who's proven that he still has it, I mean, that could be a great addition for the Los Angeles Lakers. That will also initiate a Kyle Kuzma trade. Now, I know a lot of Laker fans have a love-hate relationship with Kyle Kuzma. I'm here to tell you, Kyle Kuzma might have some decent value on the trade market. Who knows, you might even be able to ship him to OKC, maybe involve a third team, and get Kemba Walker back in return. The Lakers also need to re-sign Wesley Matthews. Wesley Matthews was one of the better 3-and-D guys on their team, guarding the best player on opposing teams, and we know that Wesley Matthews is very capable of shooting 40% from 3 when he's having a good season. Next, we gotta discuss Andre Drummond. I mean, Andre Drummond was a nice addition because you got him in the buyout market. But once we figured out that Andre Drummond is pretty much unplayable in the fourth quarter, and you also added to the fact that he's looking for a max contract, you gotta just let Andre Drummond walk. There are cheaper guys that you can get to play center in the offseason. One guy that plays center for them is Montrez Harold. Now, Montrez Harold, we're talking about a former 6th man of the year who was just completely underutilized, and this is something that they have to figure out how to do if he even decides to opt back in. Montrez Harold is capable of giving you 18 points off the bench, and he is an energizer bunny. That's something that the Lakers really need. That being said, it's very important that they figure out how to use Montrez Harold and even convince him to stay, because that will be a great addition to any team, especially a team like the Los Angeles Lakers, where they're ready to win now. This brings us to the most interesting of the Lakers this offseason, and that's Dennis Schroeder. Now, it's reported that Dennis Schroeder was offered an $84 million contract, in which he declined because he figured he would get $100 million. After this most recent playoff series, I think that his value actually dropped, and now it's going to be harder to gauge what kind of contract is going to be available to a guy like Dennis Schroeder. He was shooting 40% in the first series and making poor decisions on the court as your primary decision maker. Now, with that being said, we got to look into some replacements. We got to look into who the Lakers should target in the offseason. And we also have to take into account the cap room that's available, who they can get on the budget, and who they can, reach for just to say, hey, we tried. Just a few names that I can say they could reach for just to say they tried is Mike Conley, Victor Oladipo, and Kyle Lowry. I'll consider these all to be reaches because I don't think that the Lakers will be able to afford any of the three, especially Victor Oladipo, because when Victor Oladipo is healthy, he's a top 10 shooting guard in this league. He can get a bucket. He can play defense. I mean, Victor Oladipo is really a forgotten hero, but I think when he gets another season under his belt and gets healthy, people will remember who Victor Oladipo is. Some guys that the Lakers should look at as far as budget signings are Otto Porter, Goran Dragic, Serge Ibaka, and even bringing back JaVale McGee. The thing about the Lakers is they need size, and that's what helped them win the championship last year in the bubble. If you can bring back a guy like JaVale McGee on a vet minimum, I wouldn't mind that. If you can bring in a guy like Serge Ibaka, which would be big, being that Serge Ibaka's ability to defend and stretch the floor, that's a versatility that the Lakers would really benefit from. And Goran Dragic is one of the most underrated point guards in this league. I mean, Goran Dragic can get a bucket, he can assist the ball, he plays defense when motivated, and I think that would be a sneaky sign for the Lakers. And lastly, Otto Porter. Now, don't kill me. Otto Porter, I'm a Bulls fan, so I understand what it feels like to pay a guy like Otto Porter $28 million for him to just not be available, and when he is available, he just does not earn his contract at all. But if you can get a guy like Otto Porter who's 6'8", decent size, he can shoot, and he's lengthy, that would be perfect to pair alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis, especially if he can just come off the bench and fulfill like a 10 to 12 point per game off the bench role. That would be massive. Like I said, there's a lot that the Lakers have to consider. But again, I reiterate, the number one priority is making sure that Anthony Davis and LeBron James are healthy. If they're not healthy, the Lakers really don't stand the chance at even getting back to the conference finals, let alone the finals and winning the championship. But I'm Iconic Todd. Don't ask me why. Comment down below what y'all think about this video. Who do y'all think that the Lakers should go after? Is Carmelo Anthony a good fit? Let's talk about it. I'm out.